My name is Jack Grant, I'm 18 and I'm from England, southwest England, just outside Bath. And me and 3 friends have headed to Africa to cycle from Kilimanjaro to Cape Town.
So my name's Finn Smith, I'm 19 years old and I attend Dauncey School, heading off to university next year.
I'm Josh, I'm from Wiltshire in England. I went to school at Dauncey School. I'm 19 years old. So we flew into Kilimanjaro.
We took our bags down to our guides and showed them all the clothes we got, and they laughed at us and told us we were stupid because we had so little clothes, and we didn't realise how cold and how long a task it was to get to the top of Kili. We thought it was just a sort of little hill and you just walk to the top.
It was definitely a shock because I did not expect it to be as tough as it was. I mean, it's scary at times. You go up, you don't have any support from certain points and you don't know what to expect.
We did the Marengo route, which is the 5-day route, and it was stunning. The day we summited, there was beautiful snow everywhere and an amazing sunrise, and it was one of the best experiences we've ever had.
From there, cycling is a slow challenge, but it's a day-to-day challenge which you tackle very slowly, and it's not like Kilimanjaro at all, because you always expect the next day to be harder than the last.
After that, we visited a friend on the coast in Tanga, and then we came back for 2 days of cheap safari, which was really cool. We went to Ngorongoro and Tarangire National Park.
Well, we saw all the animals. We saw lions, elephants, giraffe, zebra. The only things we didn't see were rhinos and leopards, but hopefully maybe we'll see them later on.
After that, we started our cycling from Arusha, which is very close to Kilimanjaro, and we headed south to Dodoma, which is the capital city of Tanzania. Unfortunately here, after a rest day,
50k outside of Dodoma, I had a crash with Josh and I clipped the back of his wheel very, very slightly, and it sent my bike sideways. My bike ended up flipping on its head and all my weight on my right shoulder. Finn went flying over the top, and it was just a big mess in the middle of the road, and I ended up breaking my collarbone. Fortunately Finn was okay, and it was just a fractured collarbone, so it could have been a lot worse.
Which meant we had to rearrange our trip and start planning on what to do now. So we took some time off and he went to Zanzibar for 2 weeks and we came with him for the first week. We had an amazing time there. Zanzibar is one of the most beautiful places we've ever been, with the most stunning beaches ever.
We were rescued from the side of the road by some locals who flipped me onto their motorbike and drove me to the local little practice, a little hut on the side of the road. And then once we got back to Dodoma, my 2 friends headed on and cycled without me for about a week, and I rented a tuk-tuk, a Bajaj from Tanzania, a little freewheeler thing.
My friend Finn and I, we returned to start the cycling, and we cycled all the way from Dodoma to Iringa to Mbeya, to the border of Zambia. This took us about 10 days.
I drove that from Dodoma to Lusaka, and it was a crazy adventure. For the first few days the tuk-tuk wasn't working. I had one arm, and every time I wanted to start it I had to push it, chase after the tuk-tuk and flick it into gear down a hill to start, because the ignition wasn't and the electrics were gone. And it broke down so many times I had to get mechanics to fix it, and crossing the border at Tunduma proved to be quite difficult because they wouldn't give me all the documentation. My COVID test didn't come through.
We had some issues crossing the border into Zambia, so we were at the border for about 5 to 7 days.
We got across the border in the end and eventually met up with the boys just beyond Asoka, and we camped in a school, and then we continued our journey to here together.
But when we reached Zambia, we loved it. The people here are incredibly kind. Unfortunately, we had some wet weather for the first 10 days, so it was a lot of getting wet and a lot of camping because there was nowhere to stay. And we had to carry a lot of food and water in the Bajaj also. Some days when we would wake up from camping, it would be raining everywhere, and our tent would be soaked, and we'd be fixing punctures in the pouring rain. but it was good fun. And so after 10 days of long cycling from the border of Tanzania to Mkushi, we then stopped to see our friend Stephen, who is a farmer in Mkushi. In Mkushi we spent 2 days at his house and on his tobacco farm. We went into the tobacco oven, which was 70 degrees, an amazing experience. After then, we've then travelled south to Lusaka, where we've been staying with friends, and now we're in Livingstone. Across the last 10 days, we've stayed with 5 or 6 families. None of them have known us at all, but they've all welcomed us and treated us like family.
People out here are so helpful. You work along the way, you're not alone. Like, it's doable, and it's something you just have to choose to do. You just have to hit the first step. And once you take the first step, you want to do the second step. And before you know it, you're out in Africa, in Livingstone, doing a bungee jump, climbing up Kilimanjaro, and hopefully we'll make it to Cape Town.
Cycling to Tanzania and Zambia is not an easy thing, but all 3 of us, from when we met at school, we've all loved sort of physical challenges and endurance events.
We're doing it because we cycled back in England, and we thought cycling is a good combination of fitness, and we love the fact that you can travel much further distances than any other sport like running, and you see the country from a first-hand perspective. Instead of sitting on your phone in a car, you see every single part of the road, you get an outside view, you feel the air. It's a much more embracive way of seeing a country.
Our main objective of the trip, I think, is to sort of experience that new culture and throw ourselves in a bit of a deep end, and something that not many other people our age would do.
We found that doing something like this is incredibly rewarding, and although we've had definitely the toughest times in our life, it's been the most incredible thing, and we've met the most incredible people.
I always imagine the cycling challenge is going to get harder, so through Botswana and Namibia it's going to be completely empty and we don't know what to expect. But we take each day as it comes, especially in these COVID times. You don't know what's going to change.
We flew out on the 26th of December 2020, and ever since then we've been heading our way to Vic Falls. Coming to Vic Falls, it's been a great way to celebrate sort of the halfway mark.
From past experiences, you realise not to overthink these sort of things, so you're just standing there going, oh yeah, I'll be fine. As soon as you're getting strapped up, the sort of realisation hits you, doesn't it?
We're here with the bungee and I'm about to jump second. I'm literally shitting myself.
You're standing over the edge looking down, and the guys just hold you onto your back, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you have no choice but to jump as far as you can. Yeah. We also have serious competitiveness, so if one person does it, it makes it a lot easier for the other 2 to do it.
Just before the jump, we were looking down and all we could see is the water like crashing underneath us. But it was pretty cool, to be fair. I didn't feel nervous until I stepped over the ledge.
I think I'm about to myself. I'm scared. This is very high up here.
Lucky I put 2 pairs of boxers on today. It wouldn't have looked good otherwise.
I think you're crazy if you don't shit yourself before doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We had friends who were very scared, in fact. One guy was smoking a whole pack of cigarettes before doing it, the other one was just shaking his knees apart.
Get a night's sleep before, he was so scared.
But it was 100% worth it, and we'll remember it forever.
Fucking terrified. It's quite high. Yeah. I'm a bit nervous, I can't lie.
Going last, I didn't really have much choice. I saw them all do it, so I thought, yeah, I just have to do it. Seeing them all go, so yeah.
You have to. Your mum did the same jump as well, didn't she?
Yeah, my mum did the same
cool.
jump 30 years ago. So again, yeah, I had no choice, I had to do it.